Hi, this is Char Willie from the JustAskChar Advice Channel. Join me and Classic Ruby for a radio segment called Keep the Beat. We broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Classic R&B Jams, CRBJ. We interact with the audience in the chat room where you'll have access to emojis, gifts, and the lively conversation. Press the icon that is a speaker, then press play radio. After a 15-second commercial, all the fun will begin. If you miss the live broadcast, you can listen to the replays from Mixcloud. Follow my channel on Mixcloud, JustAskChar Advice Channel, and you will receive notifications when the show has been uploaded. We hope to see you soon, and until then, enjoy this show.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Article Reactions. Some of the articles will be informative, some will be shocking, and some may just make you shake your head. We will be starting shortly. You do have the opportunity to financially support the channel in order to help it grow. So, in the very least of that manner, please like, share, and subscribe. Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice Channel on Mixcloud, and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded. So, thank you everyone for joining the show. We are about to get started.
Greetings, everyone. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Article Reaction. Happy Saturday to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope the weekend has slowed down just a little bit so your Sunday will be longer. Because I say it once, I say it all the time. Sunday does not have 24 hours in it. I don't care what nobody say. Do not believe them. You can count it. You can look at the clock. You can stay home. And that's how I know. Because you know those days that you used to have to go to church because your parents made you go, or your grandparents? Well, those days when you got a little older and you did not go, guess what happened? You looked up and you're like, man, it's Monday already. I got to go to school, or I got to go to work. Yes, that is because there is no 24 hours in a Sunday. You heard it here first. One day, you'll be old and gray. You're going to be in a nursing home, and you're going to think back. I remember on YouTube, that gal, she used to say that wasn't no 24 hour, but you know they proved it. Yeah, the scientists proved that there was actually only 18 hours. Yeah, I know. Laugh if you want. But you know what I'm talking about. That is a short day. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. As always, I do appreciate you because you could be anywhere else. Now, today, it's going to be a little petty. We look forward to our article reactions. So, hey, you're going to get what you're going to get. I got that Birdman going on. That's how I feel about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some articles for ya. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. And you know what to do, everybody. Raise your hands in the air, stand up, clap, whatever you got to do. But you know who's coming to the stage? Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage.
Classic Ruby, everybody. Classic Ruby.
Good evening, hello, salutation, all of my loved ones. I'm so happy to be here today. Hey, Char, how you doing this lovely Saturday that does have 24 hours in it? You're so right about that, You really are. Sunday's a ripoff. It's like Sunday. You can get up as early as you want on Sunday. I guarantee you Sunday, clocks automatically just, I don't know, maybe it's not quite double time. Right, but they just move a little bit faster. I'm telling you, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not
you
fair.
Believe me. See,
yes,
I told you,
girl. I am on par with you with this Saturday. We should sue. We should sue. I don't know who eats Mother Nature, God. I don't know, but let's get together, reform a committee, right? Because America sues for everything. Right, y'all sue everyone for everything.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Right, so I'm gonna be with the Americans on this one, and let's sue. Let's get some money for this. I feel ripped off already. I already know what's coming.
That's right. That's what we gonna do. Well, I am gonna do a little click. Well, I ain't gonna say clickbait or anything like that. But I'm gonna start off with a little petty. I just want to flash a little article. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to have you to look at it and you come to your own conclusion of this guy. Yes, everyone, this is the shooter from that FedEx. Yeah. Look at the picture. Do you see a future? Do you actually see a future? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All of them. They all look the same. They all look the same.
I'm just saying. Do you see a future? Do you see a lovely family in the future? Anything like that? Probably not.
No, ma'am. It's he looks like all of them. If you told me that was the other one who, was like the teenage boy, like the 16-year-old, whatever, who was walking down the street, cops passed him, even though he was the one who did the shooting. You tell me about the trench coat mafia. The only difference between him and the kids from the trench coat mafia, the first school shooting, was the fact that they had longer hair. Like, they all look the same. It's weird. It's something. If your kid, listen, if y'all are Caucasians out there listening and your kid looks like that, you need to put them in therapy from the time they're like 8, right? Like, you just know something is off and it's time to seek help. Let's be proactive, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Yeah. I know I'm going to get so much hate mail for that, but that's all right. I still mean it. So it's okay.
Okay. She speaks the truth. She speaks the truth, everybody.
You don't want me to lie to you, right? Come on now. Be honest. Right. Besides, you got to blame Char. Char's the one who did it. It wasn't me. I just answered.
Yeah, the petty was strong. Oh, yeah. Well, you go ahead and get on started with your article, because for the one I have, I'm going to be having some, different screens, and we know how that goes. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, y'all, I'm going to do my entire little COVID segment. It's 2 different screens. I'm going to do it all at once, though, because honestly, I just want to get the COVID stuff out of the way. But I told y'all I was coming with some COVID stuff. So, y'all can't say Ruby's a liar, because she ain't. So, first off, okay, I want to tell y'all how Karens are striking back in a totally different way. Now, this is something that was seen in Windsor, Ontario. But y'all know, it's like they communicate. They have their own little private apps that they communicate on. If it happened in Windsor, Ontario, it's going to trickle downwards. Just y'all wait. So, y'all know Karens are not happy. You make them wear masks. You make them, if you don't vaccinate your kid, they can't go to school and stuff like that. They're not having it, right? So they said, oh, well, I have a new answer for this. I'm not going to get myself arrested anymore. I'm not going to get myself in viral videos anymore. I know what I'm going to do. And this is what they do it now. So this note was taped to the window of a door in a shop in Windsor. Okay. And it says, please read before entering. Please note that to ensure the safety of our employees and existing clients, the shop is not allowing anyone in who's taken the experimental vaccines. That includes Moderna, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, or Johnson & Johnson, or any new prototype or any new innovative injectables due to the nature of the synthetic DNA. This decision was made in consultation with insurance companies who will not take on any liability or claims in regarding these experimentals and with health experts. The unknown health effects of the mRNA vaccine are not our responsibility. We have also taken into account the reported side effects such as viral excretion, seizures, and death. We apologize if this has caused any inconvenience, and we will reevaluate our policy once the clinical trials of the experimental injections are completed in 2023. These people, first of all, not only are they feisty, they can't spell, because I had to read this a few times to figure out that was claims. Kaleems, K-C-A-L, but it's claims. So now, they have up a small point, y'all, a small point, because that's why I don't want to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
Right? They haven't completed the clinical trials. And if this was any other drug, even on a fast track, y'all just started last year, it would not have been ready for release. It's definitely not. And that's without it being a brand new thing where you are actually messing with people's DNA. That's different. I don't feel comfortable with the fact that you are just throwing this out on people, telling them that not only is it's going to solve COVID, yeah, for sure it's going to work, even though it's totally an untestable concept, theory, whatever, right? Oh, dismiss all of the blood clot claims. Remember, initially they told us to just ignore it. Now they're just pausing it, right? Like, no. If they're pausing it, that means the numbers we have are not anywhere near the numbers of people who are actually getting these deadly blood clots and other symptoms and side effects. So they have a point, but they being feisty, okay? Because they're saying, right, if you won't let us into your shops without our masks, right? Well then, simple. We won't let you into our shops if you've taken the vaccine. Simple. You won't let my kids into school without the vaccine? Well, I'm not letting you into my store with the vaccine. And they're going to say the same thing people have been saying to them, right? Well, it's private property. You're allowed to run your own shop according to your own discretion. You can make your own rules because it's private property, right? It's not about your rights. It's not about blah, blah, blah. So just wait, y'all. This is coming. This is coming. It's trickling down. Trust me. I've actually heard a couple more stories since this was posted, and it was less than a week ago. But that was my little intro now. This is my little intro into the vaccine.
All right.
I got more for y'all with this vaccine. Because this is what, listen, I told y'all, I said, listen, I don't understand how you can tell me that you found a vaccine in such a rapid period of time for a virus that, in essence, when you catch it, it doesn't give you natural immunity after the fact. Like, they have proven if you catch COVID-19 naturally, that after 90 days, if you are re-exposed to COVID, you'll catch it again. So I had, on top of all of it's untested and the side effects and things that happened if you have allergies and whatever, I had serious doubts that it would actually be truly effective in the long run. At best, I thought maybe it might be effective for 90 days, just like the regular catching COVID way would be, right? So now, and the news just validated Ruby's claims. So out of 75 million fully vaccinated Americans, 5,800 got COVID-19 and 74 died. That's fully vaccinated, y'all. That's not, oh, well, they only got one shot, so they're only half vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. No. Fully vaccinated. That is a seriously high percentage of people to take a vaccine and then to basically immediately get COVID and then die anyway. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Right. So let's take a look at the article. So it says more than 1 in 5 Americans have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, but vaccinated people can still get the coronavirus, though infections are exceedingly rare and typically quite mild, except for the ones where you die, of course. Anyway, the 75 million people across the U.S. who were fully vaccinated as of Tuesday, some 5,800 had tested positive for COVID-19 and what's known as a breakthrough infection, according to new data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Keep in mind, y'all, that people only get tested for COVID if they have symptoms, right? Like, people don't just show up to get tested for COVID like once a week or whatever. So out of that 75 million, we don't know how many people are infected with COVID but are not experiencing symptoms. So let's be clear on that part for a second. Now, a few of those infections in vaccinated people were severe. Remember, it said, oh, this is mild. Well, except for the severe ones. About 400 of the 5,800 people with breakthrough infections, or 7%, required hospitalization. 7% of the 5,800 required hospitalization. That doesn't seem like, oh, it's just brush it off, whatever. And 74 or 1.3% died from the disease. That's 1.3%. If the rates currently, without the vaccine, are like at about 5%, then you take the vaccine and you think that you're safe, which means you're going to put yourself into, let's be real, more dangerous than situations because you think you can't be exposed. So to me, actually kind of makes your likelihood a little bit higher than you just, playing it safe all the time. But okay. Now, they say the vaccine is working as expected. As expected, y'all. These breakthrough infections are to be expected and are in line with how other vaccines work, the CDC said. We expect thousands of vaccine breakthrough cases will occur, even though the vaccine is working as expected. With the number of breakthrough cases, I think the important thing is to look at what the denominator of vaccinated people is. The denominator, okay, of vaccinated people, sure, because we're numbers, not people. We're fractions, not people, but okay, cool. And Fauci, that's Fauci, the top infectious disease expert in the US, said during a White House press briefing last week. Breakthrough infections have occurred in about 0.008% of the people who've had their COVID-19 shots and allowed them 2 full weeks to take effect. Keep in mind, guys, that again, we are only talking about people who had active symptoms because nobody else is getting tested. Nobody. So of the people who went and got tested, which they don't give us that number now, right? This is how many have proven to have COVID-19. I would love if they did a follow-up kind of thing where they were to test people periodically, since again, this is experimental. They should be testing people 1 month, at 3 months, at 5 months, basically treat the entire world like it's, one big experimental study, because it is. And then test them and make sure that they're not catching the virus. Fine, they're symptom free, so they feel better, but they're still able to pass it on to loved ones who didn't get the vaccine yet. So I don't know. I feel really unhappy with this. The department tallied 0 deaths in the first 89 breakthrough infection cases in the state of Minnesota. So that means, I guess, the 90th one died. This one, it's like 89. Okay. I listen to. Wait, read between the lines. Read between the lines, y'all. Listen to what they're really saying. It's important to know that even if someone is vaccinated and then goes on to be one of the few unfortunate people to develop a breakthrough case, there still can be some level of protection provided by the vaccine. Okay, the breakthrough rate of infections, yeah, they just left that alone. Like, there's no more follow-up to that. I was looking like, what? So if you get it, then you are being protected. No, I'm confused. Okay. I don't know. I thought I was a smart person. Maybe. Now, keep in mind that while they said that in the press briefing in March, the breakthrough rate of infections in Minnesota at that time was 0.01%. So it wasn't the 0.008. No, 0.01. We're getting closer and closer to 1. See that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The new figures from the CDC also suggest that the authorized COVID-19 vaccines are nearly perfect at preventing death, as clinical trials had suggested. Well, I don't feel like 74 people is nearly perfect. I don't know. I feel like,
No.
right? Like that's a lot of people to me. Because again, of that the 75 million, how many of those people are currently staying at home, haven't been exposed to the virus to know if it's working, whatever. So to me, I don't know. I want them to get a little bit more specific now, right? I want them to break down that 75 million into people who are actually basically at home still doing, the stay in, don't see people, don't visit people, blah, blah, blah process versus people who are out there working, not wearing masks, whatever. I want to know what those rates are because that's going to tell you a lot more.
Yeah.
Right? So they say some people who are vaccinated and subsequently get infected may not even know it either. Exactly. As about a third of the breakthrough infections, 29%, were asymptomatic, discoverable only with the test, the CDC said. Oh, so that means it's probably those people, their family members started displaying symptoms of COVID. And so they all got tested. And you know what? That person could have been the person who infected the family members who then displayed symptoms. I'm just saying. Um, Now, keep in mind, it's following some of the regular trends. So 40% of the breakthrough infections were in fully vaccinated people over 60. So it is likely that elderly individuals, particularly if they are frail and have underlying conditions, might not have responded as well to the vaccine. I don't understand why that would be true. Because in theory, if you are changing my DNA, right?
Right.
Then shouldn't it, in theory, then protect everyone equally? Because you're messing with my DNA, right? I don't know.
Uh, mm,
I, I,
hmm.
I don't know. So I'm just saying, y'all. You know about the blood clots and the pauses. I want y'all to understand that it's not like, okay, well, it's all totally worth the risk because at least I won't get COVID. No, that's not true either. You might absolutely get COVID and you might absolutely be hospitalized. You might absolutely die anyway. So they don't have a good answer. And remember that again, they're not talking about people who catch one of the other variants of COVID because currently the vaccine only protects against the variant, the original variant. What about all those other more deadly variants that it doesn't protect against? Okay, yeah, no, they need to pull their stuff together because this was a Hail Mary at best, and they're acting like it was like a saving grace, and it's absolutely not. It's mm, mm, mm.
Right. You need more information, at least because people can make a better decision. Like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? Okay, you haven't tested it that long. It's only been out. Here's the risk. Okay. I'll wait.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm one of those too. I don't need the
Yeah.
first one. Give me like the 15th one once it's like 100% effective, everything's safe. I'm for sure safe. Yeah, I'm that one. Give me that one. I'm good with that. No, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you all. I'm good. All right, so I will do, let's see here. I'll do two and knock it out. So the first one will be Family Matters star Jaleel White is launching a purple Urkel cannabis line. Oh yeah. He got that purple Urkel. You know you want it. You know you want it. Yeah, you know you want it.
Lovely.
And it's called It's Purple. And it's set to officially launch on this Tuesday coming up, April 20th, and will only be sold to adults who are 21 years of age or older. That's right. You too can smoke the purple Urkel. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that a lot of these people are getting involved with this because it's a way for them to make money. And your acting career, you can't act forever. So have something that will be solid down the line so you get a paycheck. That's what it's all about. They don't have pensions. They don't. So this is a way of like, okay, let me make me some money where I can. So I'm happy for him. Yes, that purple Urkel. Oh yeah. Whoop, whoop.
That's hilarious. Hey man, you gotta capitalize, right? That was when you were the most famous that you're ever gonna be. Use it. Use it. I 1,000% agree with this.
That's right. Now you all know I love pensions. So hey, I'm celebrating for this woman. And I'll play the clip too for you guys that do not know her. Black female cop who was fired for trying to stop chokehold in 2008 wins ruling. Will receive pension and back pay.
Yes.
Yes. 15 years, over 15 years, everybody. Now, if you don't know who she is, I am going to show you her. Let her speak for herself, and then I'll read her story because it's a short video, I think about 2 minutes, and she'll be able to tell you what has happened. Let's see here. And I believe this is her. Oh, I didn't do the audio. I didn't do it. As soon as I clicked the button, I'm like, oh, that box wasn't checked. Okay, let's try it again. We can do it. Boop. All right, now get that tab. Now, I was thinking about that earlier. I said they really need color tabs.
Mm-hmm.
That would work for me. Give me
Great.
the color
Yeah.
tab. That would work for me.
Me too.
All right, let's see the volume up. All right. Cariol Horne. Here we go.
1st, 2006, there was a call of an officer in trouble at 707 Walden.
That officer, Gregory Kwiatkowski, who was responding to a domestic dispute inside of that home between Neil Mack and his girlfriend. When Officer Cariol Horne went into the house, she says Mack had already been placed under arrest.
He was handcuffed in the front, and he was sideways and being punched in the face by Gregory Kwiatkowski.
Horne and about 10 other officers who arrived at the scene helped drag Mack out of the home. But once outside, Horne says Officer Kwiatkowski was out of control.
Gregory Kwiatkowski turned Neil Mack around and started choking him. So then I'm like, Greg, you're choking him, because I thought whatever happened in the house, he was still upset about. So when he didn't stop choking him, then I just grabbed his arm from around Neil Mack's neck.
If that chokehold of a handcuffed suspect caught Horne off guard, it didn't prepare her for what she says Kwiatkowski did next.
He comes up and punches me in the face, and so I had to have my bridge replaced.
Horne says other officers pulled her back when she tried to defend herself. Following that incident, Horne was fired, charged with obstruction for jumping on Officer Kwiatkowski's back and or striking him with her hands. But Officer Kwiatkowski's own words seem to conflict with the charges. In sworn testimony, he says, she never got on top of me. Nonetheless, Horne lost every appeal, her 19-year career over, and she didn't qualify for a pension. The breadwinner for her 5 children, Horne, now a truck driver to make ends meet.
My daughter said, Mommy, why'd you go to work that day? She never said, why did you do what you did, or I wish you wouldn't have done it. She just said, I wish you wouldn't have gone to work that day. So I don't regret it.
Officer Kwiatkowski retired from the police force after he was suspended for choking another officer on the job, a separate incident of punching another officer when he was off the clock, and most recently, Kwiatkowski and 2 other officers were indicted on civil rights charges for holding down a black teenager and shooting him with a BB gun. As for Horne, the city has sent her case to the state retirement system for review. We contacted them for an update, but we haven't heard back yet. Joanne.
Okay, so that was this was recorded in 2014. And you did hear that the guy got in trouble because he was doing some BS, as they always do. He has a history of fighting other officers. You clearly heard that he fought her, and she's the one that was fired. Isn't that how it always is? But okay. So I'm going to give you the update. Let me see. I want to put this on the screen so we have a visual while I read. All right.
I think we talked about her because we're saying, like, you know, a lot of times we say about cops, right? Like, you might not be bad, but if you turn a blind eye and you let your partner or whatever, you know, do these things, and you're just as bad. She did the right thing and then gets fired for it. She tried to stop police brutality. She gets injured, and then she's the one who's fired. Like, how in the world does that make sense? And it took unfortunately for, you know, this string of recent deaths and, you know, suddenly Black lives to matter, like an iota in the media, suddenly hands up, don't shoot, where finally she could speak out and someone cared enough to give her support. Like, that's crazy. Why were we not supporting this before? Like, why did we not catch wind of this and start pushing this and saying, hey, look, we have one of ours who was trying to do the right thing in this department, got fired. But no, we can't stand for this. We should have been fighting for her a long time ago. I'm going to be real. We really should have been.
Yeah, I think, you know, of course, the story was buried. And when it was known, because I think, if I'm not from, I think Brother Xavier was going to, or he did have her on his show back in like 2016, 15. I don't recall, but I think so, because I know he always had people that will reschedule. They canceled on him. So I don't recall, but I do remember hearing about this woman. So this is the update as of Wednesday.
Okay.
It was a cold November in Buffalo, New York, when Officer Cariol Horne responded to a call for a colleague in need of help. What she encountered was a white officer who appeared to be enraged, punching a handcuffed Black man in the face repeatedly as other officers stood by. Okay, we know who those others were. Horne, who is Black, heard the handcuffed man say he could not breathe and saw the white officer put him in a chokehold. At that point, court documents show she forcibly moved the white officer and began to trade blows with him. In the altercation aftermath, Horne was reassigned, hit with departmental charges, and eventually fired just 1 year short of the 20 years on the force she needed to collect her full pension. She tried and failed more than once to have the decision reversed as unfair. On Tuesday, an outcome explicitly informed by the police killing of George Floyd, a state court judge vacated an earlier ruling that affirmed her firing, essentially rewriting the end of her police career and granting her the back pay and benefits she had previously been denied. The legal system can be at the very least, be a mechanism to help justice prevail, even if belatedly, the Justice Dennis E. Edward wrote. His name, not Edward, I'm sorry. E. Ward wrote. His ruling also invoked the deaths of Floyd and Eric Garner, a black man from Staten Island whose dying words, "I can't breathe," have become a national rallying cry against police brutality. "The time is always right to do right," added Ward of the state Supreme Court in Erie County, quoting Martin Luther King Jr. In a statement, Horne, 53 now, celebrated the decision. "My vindication comes at a 15-year cost, but what has been gained could not be measured," she said. "I never wanted another police officer to go through what I've gone through for doing the right thing." A lawyer for the white officer, George Kayakowski, did not respond to a request for comment. Of course not. A spokesman for Buffalo's mayor, Byron Brown, said the city had always supported any additional judicial review available to Officer Horne and respects the court's decision. The 2006 encounter that led to Horne's firing began as a dispute between a woman and a former boyfriend whom had accused her of stealing her Social Security check. When officers tried to arrest the former boyfriend, the situation turned violent. Horne said she had saw Kayakowski put the man in a chokehold. He grabbed him around the neck and shoulders and a bear hug headlock from behind, according to the court documents. In Kayakowski's telling, Horne struck him in the face, pulled him backwards by the collar, and jumped on him. An internal investigation cleared Kayakowski of all charges. Horne was offered a 4-day suspension, which she turned down. After hearings in 2007 and 2008, the police department found that her use of physical force against a fellow officer had not been justified. She was fired May 2008. Kayakowski was promoted to lieutenant the same year. Her conduct could not have been encouraged, and instead her conduct should have been encouraged, and instead she was fired. W. Neil Eggleston, a lawyer for Horne, said in an interview. The dispute between Horne and Kayakowski did not end when she left the police department. He sued her for defamation and won $65,000 judgment against her. That's what I wanted to really point out. So you heard the history. They moved the woman around, waited a while, got rid of her. The dude got a promotion. After she's fired, then he turns around and sue her and won. This is what I want to happen. Now that she's going to get her back pay, and I'm sure she doesn't even need it, but it's the principle of the thing. I want her to sue him now. I think she'll win.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to sue him. Get that $65,000 back.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, she got to sue for way more than that. You got to sue him. I would sue him for that plus more. Of course, interest, pain and suffering, blah blah blah. I would sue everybody. Everybody. First move out of the city though. Then I would sue everybody. Everyone. She should be getting millions over this. Literally.
Well, I think that will work for me. Just get at that dude. I mean, it's a lot of people that was involved. Of course, we know that. This woman had to, in order to feed her and her children, she ended up becoming a truck driver. She used to even live out her car at one time. But she was able to have a Buffalo Police Department that adopted a rule in 2019 in her name, and it's called the Cariol Law. And there was a vote 8-1. So now there's something on the books with her name on it. So within 15 years, this woman been trying to fight every time she got to say, hey, reverse it. I wasn't wrong. But she didn't forget about her fellow man. She said, that's wrong. That was not a good thing. We need to have a change. So at least in Brooklyn, well, Buffalo, New York, I'm sorry. So at least in Buffalo, they can at least have that on the books to say, hey, ain't no chokeholds. If a police officer pull another one off another person, at least they can't lose their job. So I'm glad of all of that. But sue that bastard for that 65,000. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Oh yeah, 1,000 at the very least. But for me, I don't know. I'm feeling very American on this one. I'm feeling very litigious. I want to sue everybody, because right, because he couldn't have done what he did if they hadn't validated his behavior and smacked her down as being the quote unquote wrong one, right? So therefore, I feel like everybody should get a piece of that. Everyone owes her that money times a bit, because it's not just about losing the particular amount of money. It's not just about you losing 65,000, right? Because when you lose 65,000, when you're losing that amount of money, you think about the quality of life that has taken from her, as you said, the opportunities, pain and suffering, emotional turmoil for her children, everything. You think about the way community looks at you and treats you, your employability after the fact. I mean, it comes down to that $65,000 compounded over 15 years of interest, plus when you put in all the things that took away from you. No, it's worth a lot more to me. And, there's no point in bankrupting that man. You just take that 65,000 plus the compounded interest. You got to come for the city because they got the money. Right, that's why. So you sue everybody.
I agree with you, but I know that city where it's going to come from is the taxpayers. That's why I want that money to come from him. But let's give her an applause. And do it a couple of times.
Yeah. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Gotta be proud. Finally. And at least, you know what, I'll say this as well. I feel like it's encouraging. It's a good thing because it now is going to, in the future, encourage other officers to do the right thing as well, right? Because now they're seeing like, oh, they're not going to be the ones that are punished for turning against the thin blue line and blah, blah, blah. So, positive all around.
Yes. Very happy about that. Very happy. You know me and a pension. Hey, I'm happy.
That's true. Char, I'm very happy you got to cover a story that ends in, and she got a pension. Right? Like, I mean, I've been waiting for this moment for you. It must feel very good.
Feels real good.
Right?
Yeah, but go after that dude and go get your money. Get that $65,000 back. Go get him, girl.
Exactly. Do your thing. Yes. All right. Up next, y'all, gonna talk about this college student. See, I have an issue all around. I mean, a lot of what I have to say going forward for the rest of the show, they're all police-related stories. At least in this case, it's actually about a bar owner in Quincy. And there's a young woman who was viciously beaten for honestly no good reason. So let's take a look at that story. We'll talk a little more about it afterwards.
All right.
Happened fast and seemingly out of nowhere. She says she was just trying to.
Yeah,
you won't.
now here's my thing, right? So you think about this. This is a good girl, right? Like she literally, if you're doing a lot of sports, kids are not super great at the school thing. Right? It's just not their thing, right? So, they more so kind of get by in school. Their big thing is sports. It's how they get their full ride. And she was getting the full ride and yet still graduated magna cum laude, right?
All right.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is a studious kid, and this is the type of kid that's like dedicated, because if you're doing sports, that means you're training a lot. On top of that, she's the kind of kid who likes to learn, so she's studying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So now she goes out with her girlfriend, right? Now I don't know if it's a girl space friend or girlfriend together. I don't know. I just know she was with this girl, right? The girl was white, she's black. They come into the bar together, because this is not, she's not saying, oh, there was a white girl standing over there. Why, no, they came into the bar together. They said, let's go put in a request at the DJ booth together. They walked to the DJ booth together.
Mm-hmm.
And then this chick is standing there at the DJ booth with her friend, and this massive bear comes tunneling at her and attacks her. No words, no nothing. Just starts pummeling her. And that's the owner of this college bar. Okay. So after she's beaten like that, horribly, y'all saw her face where her eyes were almost swollen shut and stuff. She's thrown out. She loses consciousness. She's thrown out of the bar. She wakes up on the pavement by herself. There's no one around her. There's no help around her. She notices the police are there. So she, in her condition now, wanders over to the police to say, hey, I was assaulted. Something terrible happened to me. The police don't even take her name. They don't take her name. They don't care.
Wow.
They don't care at all. Okay? So now she's like, what in the world? So now at the time they covered the story, there was no police investigation. There was no police interest. There was no police charges. The police were there at the time. So the police came, and while she was unconscious, took whatever the bar owner said as law or whatever, and said, okay, well, she must have deserved it, earned it, or whatever. Yeah, these thugs. But see, the story came out. Oh, she's not some thug off the street. Oops. She's one of the college kids. Oops. She's a good kid too. Oops. Can't find any pictures to make her look like a criminal. Oops. So now they got to do something about it. And they do. They do something about it. Notice, though, they made sure to say that they have no evidence that this was racially motivated, so they weren't going to move. But because of social pressure, which is normally the reason why they move, they decided to throw something at him. So I'm going to tell y'all what they charged him with now. This is Stephen Holman. That is the name of the bar owner. Let's see what his punishment is. All right.
Okay.
Happened Easter weekend at the barn in Quincy. One of the few, Diane, the Adams County State's attorney, has charged the bar owner, Steve Holman, with aggravated battery. That is a Class 3 felony. It happened Easter weekend at the barn in Quincy, one of the few bars near campus. Jasper Evans has said that she was enjoying a night out with a friend when they both walked over to the DJ booth to put in a song request. That is when she says the bar owner cursed her, threw her to the ground, punched her, put her in a chokehold, and threw her out of the bar. She then suffered facial injuries and a concussion. ABC 7's Samantha Chapman interviewed Evans exclusively last week. In that interview, she made it clear she believes the attack was racially motivated.
The girl that I was with was a white girl, and I'm obviously African American.
Now, we heard this, right?
Yes.
So, guys, if you get an aggravated battery charge, it has nothing to do with race. They didn't tack on anything to do with race, right? So these days, though, right, when people are randomly assaulted in the streets and they're non-black, right, they're another race, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, everything's racially motivated, right? Everyone is getting. We just did a story last week where that man was charged with a racial crime. It wasn't just about the fact that he randomly walked up to this woman and punched her in the face in the streets. Because the woman was Asian, he was charged with a hate crime. But when it's a young black college student who's sitting there minding her own business, the white girl, and she gets beaten so bad, her face is swollen, the police don't even care initially, it's not a hate crime then. then it's just aggravated battery, and they didn't even want to do that. Okay.
Well, let me get my voice together. Well, we have to do an internal investigation, and then we'll get to the bottom of this, and it'll take some time, but we will be working diligently. Yes.
Right.
We know the BS. Yes.
Right. And they tried that foolishness too. Well, we investigated. There's no evidence of rape. Okay, let me ask you a question then. What was the evidence of? Because from what I heard, that's the only thing it could be. They just got to the bar. She didn't touch nobody. She didn't do nothing. She didn't hurt nobody. She wasn't somewhere she shouldn't have been. And if she was, then why did you pick her versus the white girl she's standing beside? Like, there's no reason why you targeted this woman except for the fact that she was Black. That's it. And whatever other assumptions or stereotypes you threw in there. But no, not a hate crime. Nothing to do with her Blackness. See, this is what I was talking about on the radio show. He said, you know what? It's like there's like this blindness. There's this blindness from society when it happens to us. When it happens to us, then it's just aggravated battery. When it happens to another minority, then it's a hate crime. And see, that's where I have an issue. I'm not saying that when it happens to other minorities, it shouldn't be charged as a hate crime. What I am saying is when it happens to us, it should always be charged as a hate crime. Always.
Yes.
Purity point blank. This is crazy. And I hope that social media and media keeps putting pressure on these people to up the ante, because that's crazy, and that man should not own a college bar that's near a college that has a bunch of sports teams, because that means a whole bunch of Black kids are coming into that place and they're always at risk. There's always going to be a threat from that man because he attacked a 150-pound girl for nothing. Okay.
Yeah. But I do have one question though. What a white woman at?
Right? That's what I was wondering too when she said that. So I woke up alone.
I'm just saying.
Really?
Just saying. Okay.
I'm waiting. I wish I knew. I bet you she wishes she knew.
Okay. Okay. So the story I introduced last Saturday, was that the 10th? Yeah, I think it was the 10th. So I got a little bit more body cam, and I want to share that. And the title is Soldier Sues Virginia Policeman for Pepper Spray Incident. So I just want to show on the side here.
I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat me? I didn't do anything. Whoa.
Video released by U.S. Army Lieutenant Karen Nazario's attorney shows the moment the soldier in uniform was pepper sprayed in the face with his hands raised after a traffic stop turned violent in Virginia last December.
Watch it.
That's right. Adjust your camera, young man. Now you're video proof.
Get out of the car! The suit, filed by Nazario in early April in the U.S. District Court of Norfolk against Windsor policemen Joe Gutierrez and Daniel Crocker, alleges violations to his constitutional rights and includes assault, illegal search, and illegal detention.
What are you, a specialist, Corporal? What are you?
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, get out of the car!
Nazario's attorney, Jonathan Arthur, said his client, who is Black and Latino, was, quote, not resisting in any way, shape, or form.
The lieutenant sent me his cell phone footage first, and it was horrifying. But I kept hoping and thinking, that's only one angle. Maybe there's something I missed. Maybe the dash cam footage or the body cam footage will show something different. And it did. It just got worse from there.
Talk to me about what's going on. Get on the ground now!
Nazario was driving his new SUV with a temporary paper tag displayed on the back window on December 5th when he was told to pull over in Windsor, a small Virginia town southeast of Richmond. When a police cruiser signaled for him to stop, the lawsuit said Nazario put on his blinkers, slowed down, and looked for a lighted place to stop, eventually stopping at a gas station less than 2 minutes later. The suit says an officer radioed to dispatch that a driver without a tag was eluding police and was considered a high-risk stop, and another officer responded to the scene.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Yeah, you should be. Get out.
Nazario told police that he was afraid to get out of the vehicle. The suit says Nazario had his hands up, offered no resistance, but was pepper sprayed and violently knocked to the ground and detained. Ultimately, Nazario was released without charges.
I can't believe being treated like this. I don't want to charge you. I will. It's my job. I don't want to.
You don't want to? You don't want to, huh? Well, I would like to know, why did you do anything in the first place? If you don't want to, I mean, why go that far? You don't want to. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Let me show you
Not even
a
a little.
picture of the attorney, because I wanted to find out if the attorney was a tiny hat, because I think he looks like he has the tiny hat. I don't know, but it looks like it to me. So I had to be nosy and check him out. Why is my mouse acting crazy? Okay. And Jonathan Arthur, he works for Thomas H. Roberts and Associates. Yeah, so this is Jonathan. I was looking for the hat, like I said. I didn't find it. He might be. I don't know. He could be. But I looked at his credentials, and I'm like, okay, let's see what you got going on here. Oh, you cum laude, huh? You don't say. Cum laude. All right. Okay. Okay. You got honors, in a fraternity. You got ranked at the top 15%. Okay. All right. Yeah. And what I found very interesting, did I go past it? He served in the military, in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Yeah. So you know what that means, don't you? If you don't know, you're about to know.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Is this shit worth you losing your job? Cause you bought to. Cause you ain't got no reason.
None.
That's literally my favorite thing. I remember the first time you did that. You surprised me. Oh my god, I laughed the whole time. Like the whole. It's so perfect. You were about to lose your job.
Oh yeah, we already know. And let me play a little bit more for you. We got a little bit more tape. Stuff has been
Put your hands out the window.
moving since Saturday, I tell
Turn
you.
the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
Let's see. There's a young man.
Open the door.
He's like, what the hell going
out the
on?
vehicle. What's going on?
Get out the car. Open the door slowly and get out.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
Open the door and get out the car.
Hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
Get out of the car.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now. Get out of the car now.
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated.
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I know to obey. Get out of the car.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm sorry, what?
Get out of the car now.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Sir, just get out of the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
What's
Get
going
out.
on? What
Get
did
out
I
the
do?
car. Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest.
For a traffic.
You're being detained. Okay, you're being detained for
For a
obstruction of justice.
traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
Now, I need to look this up. Sound like it's right to me. A traffic violation? I gotta get out the car? What are you talking about? That's not something you have to do. But as I said, we know what's about to happen to dude. So let me play a little bit more because there's some more where the BS goes on when people get there. Let's see here. Got the medics on deck.
Go ahead, let it out. Let it out. Just cut like this. Right, my nose. Sorry, do you have any? Okay. Take your medication on a regular basis. No. You really keep doing that. I got you.
Can you please take the cuffs off? There's nothing going on. There's nothing wrong. Come on.
No, obviously there is because you wouldn't comply with us. All we did is ask you to get out of the car. And you refused. You said, no, I'm not getting out of the car.
I was asking what was going on. My hands are out the window.
And we told you it was a traffic stop, and you refused to comply. So hold on. Before we get to that, my medics are still here. You still need my medics?
Yes, I'm going to stay here.
We'll stand by, man. Okay. Stay here as long as you need us. So that's
So about how long does this take to wear off?
You just come out of rookie school. How long does pepper spray activate?
It'll take about 20 minutes, man. 20, 30 minutes.
It's just
the more, I'm telling you, I know it doesn't make sense, but the more you blink, the better it's going to be. I didn't believe the guys when they told me either, okay? But the more you blink, the better it's going to get.
All right. They go through this stuff and they're
very
trained.
anxious. Can you please take the cuffs off
No.
me, please? I need to relax. Okay.
If you hadn't fought us, then yeah.
I did not fight you, but can you adjust this, please? So my wrist can face each other, please.
They can lock them.
Please.
When I take your arms out, do not pull away, okay?
I'm not going to pull away. I'm just asking you to please work with me.
I'm going to work with you as much as you'll work with me.
My grandmother is retired NYPD.
Oh, his grandmother is a
All right, what do you want
retired
to do with this hand?
NYPD.
All right. Where's your ID at, sir?
I believe it's in this shoulder pocket.
Here?
Yes. You feel something rectangular?
So we just now getting to the ID.
Yeah, Mr. Nazario.
I'm coming from
Zipper? Oh, zipper, okay.
I'm coming from a medical event. I'm a medical officer.
All right, I'll put your wallet back in here, okay? What y'all do? Exercise today?
Do you have?
We're preparing for a deployment. So
Thank you.
Just now getting ID.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, just now getting ID. You still don't see the tag that's on the vehicle that's parked there?
Where are you safe?
I saw shit all day, and I can't see shit without my eyes.
my unit.
You got. I'll get that from you in a minute.
Where you going? Where you been? All these questions. Okay. Let me see. Where's that other conversation?
Their jobs and their lives. I get where you're coming from. They get where you're coming from. Let's let this pepper spray kind of wear off and stuff, and then just have an intelligent conversation with them.
driving all the way down here. First of all, you passed a well-lit parking lot there, but look, you felt more comfortable here, okay? Coming here was not the problem. That was not the problem. The problem is when you refuse to get out of the car. Okay? You refuse to get out of the car. When we got here and you stepped out of the car, I can promise you this would have been over by now.
I don't believe you. I don't
No,
believe
not
you.
even a little. Not even a little.
It'd have been over. You'd be gone.
Look, like he said, he's a vet. He don't want to get you in no trouble with your command.
And I'm wondering what trouble he gonna get into by going to a well-lit place, and he's the one getting pepper sprayed. Okay.
Right.
Not dizzy, but right? You gonna follow it?
You okay, Mr. Mazzario? That's it wearing off a little bit now.
I can see a little better.
Okay, very good. So we're progressing. We're getting there.
Where you stay at?
I'm heading to Petersburg right now. Check on some family stuff. I got a bunch of gear in the vehicle. I'm transferring units right now. My vehicle's loaded up with gear.
Okay, well, specifically, he was asking about weapons. What kind of weapons you got there?
It's right there. I'm sure you saw it already. Right
No, I mean, you just got a handgun or you got a long gun?
A handgun.
No long gun? Where's it at?
I got it.
Don't worry about their safety. Don't worry about yours.
Yeah, he came back with it. On a firearm. X-ray Delta 99687.
So you want to run the firearm, okay?
They haven't told you where your next deployment is?
We're going to we're being split up. I don't know if I'm going to be in Kuwait or Afghanistan. But I'm at the
Going to sandbox.
Is that a blue number?
Yeah.
Gorgeous dogs.
Thank you.
Look at Smokey. Smokey, like, what the hell going on?
What's your deployment or stay with family? I'm making arrangements for that now. If I could, I would take them. That's my kid.
Okay, do me a favor. Go ahead and have a seat on your bumper right there, okay? I don't want you to fall down. I don't want you to hold on. Just relax right there. Tell me, what happened? Why wouldn't you comply?
I looked out the mirror and I saw guns drawn. I put my hands out.
And we told you, we identified ourselves, we told you to step out of the vehicle, and you wouldn't. All you had to do is comply, and we'd have been done by now.
Why?
Okay?
Comply with something that is
It's
against. No.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, comply. Yeah, we see that a lot. I don't know why this is muted. Really like to have heard what was said.
Right?
You had no tags displayed.
Okay, here goes some BS for you right here.
I turned around on you at Food Line. I actually came out of Cost Plus, and I came up behind you.
I saw you before you turned.
And you had no tags displayed. I see it, but per the law, it has to be in the license plate bracket. I understand the paper and I understand why it's there.
Yes.
But at that time, I had no idea. I didn't know that you had a vehicle registration until I approached your car. And at that point, I was too busy dealing with you to deal with the tag.
So you were too busy dealing with me than to deal with the tag. Is that the reason that you stopped me? Because of I didn't have a tag, and now you see the tag. How you dealing with me? What the hell are you talking about? This is the 19-year-old. This is the white kid. Just to let you know, that's who's talking. With his BS.
Hey, you want me to wipe your eyes? Okay. So look, all this was going to be was, hey, man, I stopped you. You didn't have a tag. You got your driver's license. I'd have ran you, and you'd have been on your way, okay? What would have been a 2-minute traffic stop turned into all this?
As I was telling him, you know, I've pulled over to well-lit areas before, and I've never looked out the window and saw guns blazing immediately.
So the reason we did that is because we followed you for 1.5 miles with lights and sirens on, and you didn't pull over. I understand you want to get to a well-lit area, a well-lit area. I get that, but when we follow you that long, look at the climate this day, and against everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
at the climate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not out to hurt you, and I know you don't want to hurt me. That's not what it's about. What it's about is making sure that everybody goes home at the end of the day. So when you don't stop and you continue to proceed, our suspicions are raised. What's going on in the car? What don't he want us to see? So you pull into here, and if you would have just complied with the simple commands that we were giving you originally, it would have been done and over with, and you would have got back on your car and you'd be gone by now. But you wouldn't get out the car. You wouldn't comply.
It just looking out the mirror and seeing your guns out already. That's what I was asking, like, what's going on? I was just,
and not to mention you have
just confused.
I know you weren't reaching, but not to mention you had a gun at your right leg. You get our perspective though on the safety issue for us as well.
Nope.
A gun at your right leg. You understand our safety? What, you got X-ray vision?
Right.
Get that?
Yeah, I do, and that's why I put my hands out and I was asking what.
And when you put your hands out, they were like this outside the.
His hands were not like that. See this blatant line? This is what I was getting to. I want you to hear for yourself. That's what he says hands at. That's why I showed you the part where he recorded on his cell phone, and we already seen with the body cam. But according to the 19-year-old, this is how the hands were. So you giving all these lies and excuses of why this is why it is. You need to stop it. Just please stop it. You're not fooling anybody.
At all.
Get out of here.
At all. They were never together at any point. At any point were they ever even close enough that the fingers could have touched. Stop it.
Just ridiculous.
Nope.
Now I'm going to show you this last thing here. Let me get rid of this video and go to, where's my, right here, because I had already played the clip to let you know that, of course, dude wasn't going to keep his job. Of course not. Police officer fired after threatening Black Army officer during traffic stop. When was he fired? This is what I want you all to see. This was dated Sunday. Now I showed you guys everything Saturday.
Wow.
The man was fired on his day off. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that very interesting? This happened December 5th. Get out the way here. This happened December 5th. He was fired Sunday. All of a sudden. Now he's fired. Isn't that something? Isn't that how it always is?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that BS.
Come on. Enough. Like, that pissed me all the way off. That situation filled me with rage to hear that they had the nerve to turn around and say, yeah, but your hands were outside the window like this. It's like you were holding a gun.
Yes. I'm like, where? What angle? Is there an angle? I didn't see that. Did anyone see the angle?
You know, all I could think about, Char, all I could think about is the video you played last week. Please, sir, please put the gun down. I don't want to shoot you. Please, sir, please. Come on, please. Remember they pleading with the white guy? Pleading with him. He had a gun in his hands. He wasn't a threat. He didn't have to get out of the. Just please don't put it down. I don't want to have to shoot you. Please don't. Please put the gun down. Please. Oh, so when they actually have a literal gun in their hands, they are less threatening than when your hands are outside of the window, very far apart, separated, what you knew about the gun, you can't see that's on his right leg, on the side of his right leg. Right. That's
Sure.
and that's what threatened you.
Right. So you got X-ray vision. You
you.
can't see the tag, but you can see the gun. Okay.
What's amazing though is, well, I didn't see the tag, so well, you didn't have your tags. Well, I mean, you had the tags, but I didn't see it until I approached the vehicle. But then I was too busy dealing with you. No, brah, you weren't busy dealing with nobody. From the second you saw the tags, why are you dealing with him? Because if your whole point of dealing with him was because you didn't see the tags, and then you see the tags, then at that point it's a your bag situation, not a well, he should comply anyway situation. Like, no, that's like not the way logic works.
Right, a bunch of bull crap. And I'm just so tired of it. It just makes no sense. But I'm telling you, I've already reached out to a couple of guys. I emailed them. I seen them in the space. They seem to be serious. They want some change. I want to have some change. And I'm going to start off with a few good men. We'll have a conversation, see what can be done. Because something can be done. We just need to put our heads together. Start small. We'll make it.
Something needs to be done. Because at the end of the day, right, you would feel like at what point, when is enough enough? Every time we feel like we've made advances, all you got to do is just watch what goes viral next. It's so depressing. Like I have two more stories, and both of them are just demoralizing, really. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get into both today. Hopefully we have enough time to sneak them both in.
Okay.
So first, what we're going to do, I'm going to show y'all so most of y'all have probably at least heard of this story. I want to talk a little bit about it. And that is the story of Dante Wright. And then we'll talk about what's going on with his cop and see what y'all feel about the charges. So first, let's take a look. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, the way that they do these press briefings, okay, for their own, and by their own, I do not mean other cops, because I still remember when they talked about a man who is a mass murderer, a multiple mass murderer, talking about how he had a bad day and it's probably not racially motivated, right off the jump, right? So, okay, let's see how the cop, before they delivered the body cam, because they wanted to make sure that they colored your perception of the body cam information. So let's just take a little listen to that press briefing before they played it. Okay.
It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
Brooklyn Center's police chief says the deadly shooting of Dante Wright, a 20-year-old black man, was a tragic accident. Newly released body camera footage shows the moment an officer shot Wright during a traffic stop yesterday afternoon. In the wake of the shooting and protests across the Twin Cities, Governor Tim Walz has issued a curfew in Hennepin, Ramsey, and...
Right, so no peaceful protesting for y'all. Y'all can't protest the fact that this person got shot. No, you can't protest. And we're going to make sure you can't, because we're going to instill a curfew before you can try to do nothing. There can't be no vigils. There can't be nothing. Okay? That's it. Sorry, too bad. You go to work, you come home, go inside. It's not because of COVID. They're going to say it's because of COVID. No, it's not because of COVID. It's because they understand that eventually we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then we want to burn some stuff down for some change, for some movement, for some action on their side, because we are tired of them justifying this like it's okay. Justifying. Oh, no, it was a total accident. She had all intentions of deploying her taser. And she didn't mean to deploy her gun. Okay, let's keep going. I couldn't even believe this when I saw that boat curfew.
Anoka counties from 7 p.m. tonight to 6 a.m. tomorrow. This all comes, of course, as we're in the middle of the Derek Chauvin trial. We have live team coverage of what happened yesterday, how Wright is being remembered tonight, and what authorities are doing to prevent further unrest. We begin with Jennifer Hoff, who has details on what we learned today about that shooting. Jennifer?
Good evening. The crowd has grown significantly here tonight across from the Brooklyn Center Police Department from when we were first here this morning at a news conference. The tone set at that news conference by the mayor and the chief, one of transparency as they released the body cam footage worn by the officer who the chief said shot and killed Dante Wright yesterday afternoon. They gave us a warning for those of us who first watched the video, and we want to extend that same warning to you as we are showing it to you now. Now, the mayor said, along with the chief, that in the video, 20-year-old Wright is driving the white car. The chief said he was pulled over originally for having expired tabs and had something hanging in his rearview mirror. Now,
y'all hear that, right? Again, with this tag thing. This is their new dog whistle. Okay? Tags, expired tags. You didn't see your tags weren't displayed properly. Tags. This is their new dog whistle. Right? That's their new thing, right? So they can't stop and frisk you anymore, right? They can't just pull you over for no reason anymore. It's going to be too much of a problem. So now it's a tag thing, right? They figured out that, you're doing 55 and a 54, as JC said, is not working out. Now it's tags. Okay.
Officers would then later learn that he did have a warrant for his arrest. Documents show that it was issued about 10 days ago when he didn't show up for court after being...
It was issued 10 days ago, sent to the wrong address. Therefore, he didn't get the summons, so that's why he didn't appear in court. For the record, y'all. For the record, it's not like he's this dangerous felon who just is like, I don't care about the law. He didn't receive it. That's why he didn't go, because they mailed it to the wrong address. Okay. So, and as y'all can see, the previous video, he was standing outside of the car. I'm sorry, my echo likes to talk for no good reason. Yeah, but he was standing outside the car. And then what happens is she approaches the car and she says something about a warrant. And then at that point, he's like, oh, I don't really want to deal with the warrant issue today. So I'm going to try to get away. So that's why he's down here now.
Being accused of carrying a pistol without a permit last month and fleeing police last year. The officers try to arrest him then, and the chief says Wright gets back in the car. The struggle ensues. An officer yells taser multiple times. Protocol, the chief says, when they're about to deploy that. But the chief said
that is true. But I want y'all to watch something.
The chief said he was pulled over originally for having...
Now, what we're going to do, I want y'all just to look at something, okay? Because we're watching her body cam footage. This is her perspective, okay? 26 years on the force. 26 years, okay? Their taser is on the left. Their gun is on the right. They do this on purpose. And then they train you, right? So that way your gun, you grab with your dominant hand, your taser, you grab with your non-dominant hand, because, if you have to grab your gun, apparently should be a more serious situation. So, you need the control of your dominant hand. You grab the taser with your non-dominant hand. It's not like they're sitting on the same hip and maybe you grab the wrong thing, right? But I want y'all to just look for a second, because the thing that's killing me about this, and I don't understand. First of all, she doesn't shoot immediately. There's a good period of time where she's sitting there going, taser. But look, let's look at her perspective. So now she grabs her taser. Oh no, she put her right hand to her right hip. And look, the whole time, what do you see in front of your face? Oh, a gun? Are you trying to tell me that in your 26 years of training, there's no part of it while you were screaming taser, you didn't know you reached with your right hand, grabbed a gun in your hand, and that you were sitting there aiming a gun in front of your face? You didn't know? You seriously didn't know. It was an accident. Remember, she was screaming taser. No. You know why she was screaming taser, y'all? She was screaming taser because there's a bunch of them there. And she has the gun on him just in case they need to shoot him. But she's hoping one of the other people is going to grab a taser to tase him. She's making a suggestion to the other officers to tase him. And they don't. Then he starts trying to pull away. That's why she shot him. Okay? That's why she shot him. Don't let this foolishness that they are trying, she's such a good person, and she would never do this on purpose. No, of course she wouldn't, right? Of course. They never ever shoot innocent people on purpose. It never happens, right? I mean, look at this, the golden child. She looks so innocent. There's no way that she intentionally shot someone. This is the picture they put out, right? Because of course, they were already pulling this narrative that she's just the innocent, good little, all American white girl. She would never do something wrong.
She looked like that doggy in the window.
You know what she looks like, Shar? She reminds me of the chick from outside of Chipotle that was like threatened because like a 15-year-old bumped into her and was holding the gun and screaming and all that. That's what she reminds me of. I swear, it's like I'm wondering if it's the same person. But okay, with that being said, I just wanted y'all to see that foolishness. So let's take a listen to her charges. Okay.
Tonight, former police officer Kim Potters arrested and jailed, facing a charge of second-degree manslaughter in the death of 20-year-old Dante Wright. In a statement,
not even first-degree manslaughter, second-degree manslaughter. Just, okay. Shot a man who was unarmed, and it's second-degree manslaughter. Okay.
Yeah, second-degree citizen. I get it. Second
There
class.
You go. There you go. Yep, they made it second all the way. Not murder, but manslaughter. That's the second, right? And then not first, but second degree. Yep. The second, like you said, you're only a second-class citizen at best. Okay.
prosecutors say Potter abrogated her responsibility to protect the public when she used her firearm rather than her taser. Her action caused the unlawful killing of Mr. Wright, and she must be held accountable. Potter shot and killed Wright during a traffic stop. The now former officer on the force for 26 years, training a rookie cop that day during what police have called an accident. Law enforcement analysts count at least 16 similar cases of guns mistaken for tasers in the last 20 years.
So 16 similar cases of guns mistaken for tasers in the last 20 years. That's not even one time a year out of all the cops in all of America. And this 26-year veteran does it.
I want to see what they the people that it was used on.
Right?
That's what I want to see. Let me see them records.
I want to see who it was used on, first and foremost, and who did it. Those are the two things I want to know. That's all I'm saying. Yep.
Not all fatal. No comment today from Potter's attorney, the police union, or the family of Dante Wright. The Wright family's attorney speaking out.
Obviously, they are glad she got charged. They do hope and pray for a day that we will get equal justice.
You, me, or anybody else with this skin color would be in silver handcuffs right now with murder charges.
Today, angry reaction to the manslaughter charge from activists involved in 3 straight nights of protests. Now you can see the crowd getting restless, stirring even more. Overnight, at least 79 arrests as police clashed with demonstrators and enforced a curfew. Now, some protest leaders comparing Potter's case to that of former Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor in 2017, a black officer convicted of murder and manslaughter after shooting and killing a white woman who'd called 911 for help.
Check that out, though. Murder and manslaughter. He got charged with murder and manslaughter and got convicted of both for killing a white woman. Oh, well, when you black, you start at second-degree manslaughter. You don't even start at murder. Really?
Interesting.
Oh, ain't that something? Okay.
Some see a different standard for the white officer killing a black man. You think she should be charged with murder?
Yes, I do think she should be charged with murder, clearly and unequivocally.
Why?
Because of her reckless conduct.
Ron, any idea how the manslaughter charge will play with the crowds out there tonight?
More people seem to be arriving here earlier tonight. They are not satisfied. City officials are pleading for peace as the clock ticks toward another curfew.
Lily.
Of course they're not satisfied. Why would they be satisfied? Would you be satisfied? No, but it was an accident. I swear to God, if I see one person hug this woman in the courtroom at any time, that's it. I'm gonna lose it. No.
Yeah. The only way I would accept this being possible if there was a gun involved with the guy and he had it in his hand, and that's the only way. That's the only way. If he's just pushing away or something like that, you have time to reach on your left side and get your taser. Your brain has time to say, "Oh, this is too light." Because if you're in fear of something, you want to have the right item to use to save your life. This was nothing that was life and death. So I'm not buying it. Sorry.
Nope. Sorry. You cannot convince me that she did not know what was in her damn hand. Like, she didn't. She went, I just shot him. Really? Yeah. So you're trying to tell the other cops around didn't notice the gunshot? I don't know. But either way, like, she's like, I shot him. Like, she didn't sound initially like she was horrified or like, oh shit, what the hell? Like, it wasn't like that kind of response. It was just more like, hey guys, I got him. Like, that's how I felt by that response. It was like, hey guys, I got him. Hey guys, I got him. You know, I shot him. Yeah, that's what I heard. So nope. This manslaughter thing, ridiculous. It's just absolute. You have a white woman shooting a black man, and she's not even going to get a slap on the wrist by the end of this. Not even that. You started at second-degree manslaughter for a cop. No, not even. If she gets like simple battery, I die of shock at this point. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're gonna hide her out and everything, and make sure she's tucked away. They're gonna do that to their white queen.
Oh yeah, don't they always? Don't they always? They let us know. They long ago let us know what happens, right? You don't touch the white woman, you don't hurt the white woman, and the white woman cannot be held accountable for her actions. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna state it plain, because that's literally, even in the last clip they just showed us, that's what it is.
Wow. Did you have anything else on this? You can go ahead and finish that.
Not on this one. I had a different story, or like another story. Not the story that came the what's his face thing. So I know. We over time. So we're gonna have to hold it till next week.
Go ahead, run that beautiful beam footage.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. I really wanted to cover this one. I really wanted to cover this one. It is a fatal shooting of a 13-year-old by the police, and it just, I'm furious. I'm devastated. I blew my mind. This happened in Chicago. Young boy's name is Adam Toledo. Okay, so we're gonna take a look here at the footage first. Okay, then we'll take a quick look at the story. Okay, so now this is, he just turned on the body cam.
Hey, show me your hands. Stop it.
Those are his hands are up.
Shots fired. Get an ambulance up here now. Look at me. You all right?
Now I want y'all, because he's 13, they don't actually show like the literal shooting. So that pause is the moment before he was shot. If y'all noticed, and I'm going to show y'all in the next video, it's very clear as well. If y'all notice, let me just show y'all the next video. If y'all notice, his hands were up.
Yes.
His hands were up. They weren't down. They weren't, there's nothing in them. They're very clearly open, okay, with nothing in them, right? Okay, so I'm going to show y'all now this other video. It's basically, it adds a little bit of extra on top of the body cam footage just so y'all can see, but I wanted y'all to see that moment afterwards, that moment where he's like, hey, you all right? You okay? No, he's not. He died at the scene. He's not okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what happened is when the police were called because there was shooting going on in the neighborhood. And this kid and his friend took off running. So the cop followed them in his car until he got close enough, and then he started running after them. And so that is where now the cop, to be fair, what's going on over here with this? To be fair, I will say, there was a shooting incident. There was some shooting. But at the time, and you have to clarify this, I don't care if the kid shot someone before. Right now, is he currently a threat to you as a police officer? The answer is clearly no, and he looks very young to me. Now, so here's him running again, right? We're going to take a look at this again. I want y'all to notice this. His hands are clear. Nothing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
See, 8 gunshots on the city's west side. That's what they heard. Ruben Robin, who they're not showing the identity of currently. I thought he was younger, but apparently he's 21. Now, originally, right after this happened, they said that this kid died in an armed confrontation. That was the police statement. That is what they've been pushing about this story, is it was an armed confrontation. As y'all saw, there's a gun there that's nowhere near where the confrontation happened. This was not an armed confrontation. The kid was running. He dropped the gun and kept running. Why? Because he assumed, rightfully so, that if he had the gun anywhere near him at the time, he would get shot. But apparently,
that's right.
Right? But apparently, that don't matter, because you're going to get shot anyway, because they knew at some point in life you had a gun. Now, he's 13. This is a little boy, and he's gone.
Wow.
I don't think people really and truly process these things when they watch it from the outside. It's not their community, it's not their culture. They're not minorities. They shot this kid as soon as he got within talking distance of this kid. He shot him.
Right, you might as well shot him in the back. If that's what he was going to do, go ahead and shoot him in the back. You do it to us.
Thank you. Right?
Just saying.
How you going to say, show me your hands, at the same time the kid's hands are already up? And before he can move his hand to show you the other one fully so you can see the palms, but his hands are both clearly up, you're already pressing the trigger.
Right.
That's what happened. You're already pressing the damn trigger. You have nothing to say at that point. Nothing to say. Okay, let's look at the news story.
This morning is the release of video showing a Chicago police officer shooting and killing 13-year-old Adam Toledo, a split-second decision that is under scrutiny this morning.
One shot fired by police killed 13-year-old Adam Toledo in this little village alley. The situation unraveled within seconds. Chicago police responded to reports of multiple shots fired. This brief chase down an alley recorded on the body camera of 10th District Officer Eric Stillman on March 29th.
No! Hey, stop it!
The key moment takes about 1
Stop
second, according to Chicago police officials. Stillman reports seeing a gun in Toledo's right hand. The pistol, they say evident in this video freeze frame, his arm at his side. And then a fraction of a second later, his hands moving up without a gun, and the teen is shot once in the chest.
So what did he do? Make it fly?
Officer Stillman's body cam taking this video of the gun that had allegedly been in Toledo's hand a few feet away from his body, along the fence where the teenager was cornered.
Within a second before that, we see what appears to be a gun in Toledo's hand, and that he drops it before he raises his hands. If that's the case, then the officer is a very credible defense.
This
he does not.
was solved in 0.8.
The point is whether he had a gun in his hand right when you stopped him.
Right.
If he dropped the gun,
mm-hmm.
and when he raised his hands, there was nothing in his hands, then how was that a credible defense? The whole point of you as a cop, you say, drop your weapon. The boy dropped his damn weapon. That should be enough to keep him alive today. What? How is that a credible defense? See, and you're having experts sitting there telling you, oh, see, he's got a credible defense. He had a weapon at some point. The fact that when you caught him and you said raise his hands, there's a weapon in his hands is irrelevant. Oh.
Milliseconds. So it happened very quickly. It happened probably faster than science has proved an officer would be able to think his way through the situation.
But not all experts see the split-second decision captured in this picture the same way.
Science.
Man had his hands up at the time he was shot. It also appears to me that when the young man made the move for the gate or the fence, that opening where the shooting occurred, before he turned around, it appears that he disposed of, if he had a gun, that he had disposed of it right before the shooting. It does appear evident to me that he did not have a gun at the time the officer fired his weapon.
At all.
New reaction just in this morning from the attorney for Chicago police officer Eric Stillman, who shot Toledo. In a lengthy statement, Tim Grace said in part, quote, the officer was faced with a life-threatening and deadly force situation.
Was he?
All prior attempts to de-escalate and gain compliance with all of the officer's lawful orders had failed.
What prior attempts? He said, what are you talking about? The kids took off running because they're kids. Fine. You catch up to them. And in 3 milliseconds, you shoot him. What prior attempts? You can't say, drop your weapon and show me your hands, and before anyone has a chance to react to those words, shoot someone and say, well, I tried. I said, show me your hands. But he did. He did. As you were pulling the trigger, he was already showing you your hands. Hands up, don't shoot. How about that? Okay.
Right.
A police officer is trained, and it is ingrained in them from the moment they enter the Chicago Police Academy that deadly force is a last resort and is only justified when the officer is confronted with an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm to himself or herself or another person. They do not take this lightly. They have no duty to retreat. They have a duty to stop the threat and save lives.
Yeah, including the life that they normally end.
Right.
Just saying. Yeah. So that's the story of Adam Toledo, y'all. I'll give y'all more updates as we have them. I'm furious. How dare you? They're sitting there justifying it. You showed us a video last week, Char, with a man, and they sat there and how many times did they plead with that man to please put his gun down?
Oh, from what was recorded that they showed us was 20 some minutes. It was some stuff edited. That man moved around, I don't know, about 4 or 5 times in that well-lit gas station. Just saying.
Thank you. So you tell me that y'all could plead with that white man to please put his gun down. But you can ask the kid to show you your hands, but because he's not white, you can gun him down before he has a chance to comply, and then say, I have a great argument. My life was in imminent danger. It was not, because the kid complied.
Right.
If we're justifying this at this point now, that means anyone who has a weapon, legal or otherwise, if you have a weapon, they can just shoot you before they've given you an instruction, or while they're literally saying the words. It's going to be justified for them to shoot you dead because they've decided you're an imminent threat to them. No, this can't stand anymore. This can't stand.
Tired of it.
Me too. But like I said, we'll get updates as they come in. This just happened this week. So hopefully we'll hear soon if they'll be charging the officer. So with what, y'all hear it. They're caping for him. So I'm not feeling super positive right now, but hopefully at the very least he'll lose his job. I'm not feeling hopeful. Let me be real.
Yeah. But we did have one to lose his job. So that was wonderful. He was fired a week ago. Yes.
Love it every time.
And I think I'll celebrate and play it again on the way out. But I want to thank you all for joining the show, for checking everything out. We appreciate your time. It is always valuable, and you spent it with us as we react to the articles. And we hope to see you, on Wednesday. Check us out on Keep the Beat, Classic R&B Jams. The link is in the description, as always. And until we see each other again, I would like to say peace.
Cheers, y'all.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. Is this shit worth you losing your job? Cause you bought to. Cause you ain't got no reason.